Mexico City is such a beautiful city. Right in the middle of the valley is a lake, but we no longer see the lake because it is all landfill. I'm going to show you 360 views of the city here today. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Let me know where you're watching from. Welcome everyone, we are Torre Latino Americana, which stands for the Latin American Tower. It is basically the mini Empire State Building. Mini Empire State Building here in Mexico City. Now this was historically the big, tallest building for quite many years, but a lot of new buildings have been beating it. So I'm going to show you views around here. And here is really cool because we're getting a sense of that this is literally a valley. Quite literally a valley. So we're surrounded by mountains. Thing is, Mexico City tends to have a lot of smog because there's a lot of car traffic as well. It's a very car heavy city. But beyond that it is rainy season. So you usually don't get a sense that we are indeed in a valley. But beyond that, the reason that this is very interesting, this view, aside from getting a sense of Mexico City and its geography and how huge and sprawling it is that this was lake before. Of course, close to the mountains was land, over there was land, but here, lake. Down there was a tiny little island called Tenochtitlan, which I'm going to talk to you soon about. Hey Susu, didn't think a tour, though you did a food tour already. Yeah. I said I was going to take a break, but I just didn't want to commit to any time. And also, when it comes to these things coming up here, one has to play it by ear, and luckily we got some good service here. So that is a Palacio De Vegas. If you want to see the inside, you can watch the video from a few days ago, where we walked from Palacio De Vegas all the way through a Centro Histórico, the historic center, right around here. El Palacio De Vegas is a palace of fine arts, and inside there you'll see the epic murals of Diego Rivera and a few other artists, and also it's done in an Art Deco style, especially the interior. Beautiful, beautiful building. So how tall is this building, Michelle? Great question. So here we have a nice guide. We are right now on the 44th floor. No, we are on the 43rd. 44th is right above us. There's no service up there. And then there's like a restaurant, there's like a museum, there's a few. And now we are facing Bellas Artes. So here we're going to get a sense of the different views that we're going to see. So here we're facing north. So north, we are seeing in the distance number 8, which is Basilica De Guadalupe. Right there. Okay, I think I see a pointy. No, right there. Right there. That's Tepeyac Hill. If you remember, we actually climbed that hill, and it also has magnificent views of the city itself. And also, I visited that on live video, so check it out after this video. So that's the Basilica de Guadalupe, probably one of the more important religious sites in the entire world. There's more than, what is it, 2 billion Catholic adherents or Christian adherents? Yeah, so that is one of the most important Roman Catholic sites in the world. Good pamphlet. Yes, Ronald says, how high are you now? Very high. With all that chocolate, I got very high. Very high in altitude, that is. Let's see what building this is. The triangular building. Do we tell? Okay. Torre de Nonoclo. Torre de Nonoclo. Beautiful tower right over there. Great shape. This is what I love about Mexico City. It has amazing architecture. Truly, truly breathtaking architecture. Philippian says, I'm really enjoying your trip to Mexico, but I really miss you in New York. I've gotten that comment a lot. This is a travel show, so at least I don't hope to really be doing much more New York. I hope to be traveling a lot more full time in the next few upcoming year or two. So do consider watching my colleagues who are constantly in New York. But for me, my future is out there in the world, exploring new frontiers, boldly going where no live streamer has gone before. Yeah. Cue the music from Star Trek. Joe says, if I was a vlogger, I would just show the photos and say I was there. Yeah, you know, sometimes vloggers just take a few shots, and they say they're there. Yeah. I think live streaming is quite different. Live streaming, you get to experience the city on a deep level. At least the type of live streaming I do. Philippian says, oh, okay, I will follow you wherever you go. Oh, thank you, Philippians. We really like your New Year. There's a huge archive there to see. So I made it to the top of mini ESP, says B. Griffin. Indeed I have. Indeed I have. Now it's gonna rain today, and this closes at 9, so which is nice. We could see the sunset if it weren't raining, but it's gonna rain soon. But look at that, the beautiful, what they call God rays. This is the rays of the sun. The days looks hazy and smoggy. It's because it's gonna rain. Just like the guy from Family Guy. It's gonna rain. So we are now looking, let's see, where are we looking? We're looking oeste, west. So we're seeing all the major skyscrapers. So I'll name them. It's 2 through 6, okay. So we're seeing Santa Fe. There in the distance, Santa Fe is right over here. Santa Fe. Santa Fe is basically a new city within a city. You can think of Santa Fe almost like downtown Brooklyn, because it's pretty far apart from center Mexico City, even from this area, which is mostly the area around Insurgentes, which is in English Insurgent Avenue. But Santa Fe is very interesting because they built a new city on top of these mountains. But Rodrigo, the guide from yesterday, was telling me that Santa Fe is very interesting because you have this modern new city a la downtown Brooklyn or Hudson Yards, but just across the block you have immense poverty. It's a very unique place, I think, which you don't really encounter in New York, because it's almost akin to building a huge skyscraper city in Brownsville. Imagine that happening. And here's where you have the majority of the skyscrapers. So I'll list you the skyscrapers we see. We see Torre Bancomel, which should be that tall one right over here. Right here, that one. We got Torre Mayor, which we actually saw in person on the base. We saw all these towers on one of my walks, Basilica De Forma. So watch that walk as well if you want to see these towers on the base level. Is De Forma. So I got a little bit confusing. So Insurgentes might be a little bit further up, but that is De Forma. So right behind De Forma, you see that huge green area? That is larger than Central Park. That is the Central Park of Mexico City. That is Chapultepec Park. Chapultepec Park translates into Grasshopper Hill. Ronald says, boldly go to Denver. Behind Reforma is Polanco. Yeah. Yeah, so we have Polanco right behind. This building looks a lot like Taipei 101. Yeah, it has a similar shape to Taipei 101, also a similar shape to Empire State Building. The spire makes it look like Empire State Building, in my opinion. Great observation, Vignesh. Ooh, they have their own Central Park. They do. It's quite different in terms of a vibe. Santa Fe is supposed to be boring and sterile. Yes, I can imagine. That's why I'm not yearning to go over there, to be honest. A few people have recommended it, but I'm having the feeling that it is one of those sterile city developments that are akin to what you see like in Boston when we went to that area. I think it was called Back Bay. No, it wasn't Back Bay. The South End, I think it was. Here's Alameda Park. And on Alameda Park, Mexico claims that this inspired Central Park in New York City. I say claim because I think it's quite a stretch. This is a very different park from Central Park in my opinion, but maybe it inspired the idea of having a park in the middle of the city. That might be the case. B. Griffith says, Central Park was known for crime back in the day. Yes, it was. So I think Chapultepec, I'm not sure Chapultepec is associated with crime, but it is, it doesn't seem as friendly to walk around as Central Park. $15 super chat. Oh, so kind of Lucine for the $15 super chat. Alicine is a champ. She is joining and sponsoring this trip up here to a Torre Latino Americana. So thank you so much, Alicine, for sponsoring this trip up. Everyone give hearts to Alicine for the generous super chat. Thank you so much. Manny is in the house. Hey, Manny Explores. Nice to see you here, man. Hope you're doing well. Manny, if you have the chance to go to Mexico City, do it. You're gonna love it, I have a feeling. Wow, I love the kids are singing down below. That's funny. Alicine says, you took us all on a beautiful vacation, Ariel. My pleasure. I'm so glad I could provide like a virtual vacation. More to come. More of these virtual vacations to come. Es muy elevado este edificio. Sí, es bastante elevado. So 42 floors. If anyone can let me know how big this is in millimeters. I mean meters. Let me know. Or feet, if someone can convert it. Singing the Urbanist theme song. On it. Oh, you made lyrics to the Urbanist theme song? Who is this? Scott, you made lyrics? That's awesome. The picture is crisp and clear. That's awesome. Great news that we got some good service here. Unas vacaciones inolvidables, dice Adri. Oh, qué bien que son inolvidables. Unforgettable. Adri says they are unforgettable. 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 Let me know what song that is. Qué bien, Adri, lo agradezco, qué bien que te ha encantado. So right now we're 7,000 feet in altitude. So, and 600 feet to it. So we're 7,600 feet above. So technically, yes, the tower is shorter than the Empire State Building, about half the size, because the Empire is about 1,200 feet. Half the Empire. But New York is closer to water level. So technically, we are, oh my God, we are 7 times taller than the Empire, ladies and gentlemen. We are 7 times higher than the Empire State Building right now. Think about that, 7 times. So imagine walking to the base of the Empire State Building, looking up, stacking 7 Empire State Buildings, and that's, or a little bit less, maybe 6.1, 6.2 Empire State Buildings, and that's how much we are. Wow, that's amazing. Crazy to think about that. Because of the altitude of the location we're in right now. That is really high. Yeah, that is insanely high. Just think about that next time. Well, maybe I'll pass by and I'll mention it when I go back to New York. Mercy says, Unforgettables by Nat King Cole. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nat King Cole. Unforgettable. Hey Ariel, that's amazing, says Inspire Life. Yes, it is. La vista es hermosa. Oh, a mí me está encantando esta vista. Bien maravillosa. So there's taller skyscrapers now. There's hay edificio más alto. So, oh my God, are you feeling freaked out that you're 6 times the height of the Empire State Building? Well, to the land, no, but we are on top of a lake bed. And we are close to 2 major volcanoes, which I'll point out soon. Let's see where the volcanoes are at. Where are the volcanoes at? Where are my volcanoes at? Let me know. Where are the volcanoes at? Popocatépetl. Oh, so we gotta go this way for Popocatépetl. Yeah, Popocatépetl. Down there. So the volcano, right down there. Bogota, there's a monastery on top of the mountain that's 10,000 feet above sea level. Oh my God, Chris. I cannot wait to go. At least seen, yes, about 7 times. Maybe about like a little bit more, a little bit less. About 6 point something. Between 6 and 7 times larger than the Empire State Building. Wow. So let's zoom in. We have Inspire Life on architecture. A few architects tuning in. So let's zoom in on the beautiful buildings. Purihara says, I don't think about it sometimes. So we are at 7,000 feet in altitude, the city itself. So the city itself is 7,000 feet at an altitude. 7,000 feet more than New York. Because New York is slightly above sea level, but only slightly. Number 1. Number 2, we are on almost a 550 foot tower. So 7,000 plus 500, so 7,500. Divide that by about 1,200 feet, which is the Empire State Building, which would translate to maybe about 6.2, 6.3. And that's, so yes, we are literally 6.3 times taller than the Empire State Building. To zoom in. Look at this building. Wow. That one, so cool. Now I'm like really feeling the height, just thinking about it. Look at the beautiful rooftops. Ronald says, last part of this live, Ariel, where base jump from the roof to the tower. Ronald, that is truly taking live streaming to the maximum extent. Fast and Furious, but on live stream. Look at the little people, tiny little people. Boop. That's crazy. It doesn't seem that much higher. Yeah, it doesn't seem that much higher because we are indeed on the valley in the middle of Mexico City. All red rooftops, yes. Yeah, there's red rooftops in the historic center. So here we're starting to see the historic center. It's very common in Spanish architecture to have these types of red rooftops. I don't know why, if anyone can let us know. Usually it has to do with the nearby materials. But it seems like they painted a lot of the rooftops in red in general, even the modern buildings, like this modern office building or condominium. Not sure what exactly it is. Are they terracotta tiles? I don't think so. I don't think so. Some of them might be the older ones, but not the modern ones. So we have a lot of red rooftops for just modern buildings as well. Es impermeabilizante. ¿Qué palabra es esa, Valenti? ¿Cómo se traduce eso en inglés? Qué bien, Valenti. Sí, ya mismo viene la lluvia. So, mejor puedo quedarme aquí para ver la lluvia. Debe ser un poco debe ser un poco scary. I'm not sure how to say scary in Spanish. Impressive. Oh, cool, says Joe. Thank you so much for introducing. It's waterproofing, says Eder. Most common waterproofing material is red, says Chris. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it. Red rooftops must be a nightmare for Mexico City. Huh? So here we're starting to see one of the planes. The airport is within the confines of the city, just like New York, but this is even closer to the city. To drive to the airport is very short commute. It's like a 20-minute car commute. So B. Griffin is right. Slam that like button right now, like Huitzilopochtli slammed all of his brothers and sisters into oblivion and made them into the stars. That like button right now, and let me know if you're on team like. Let's bring these videos to more people who can use them. May they be people who want to explore Mexico City themselves and want to see it beforehand, or people who are unable to travel for whatever reason and would like the opportunity to travel for fun online. So let's bring these videos to those people, and every like button increases the chances of it appearing on more people's feeds, and also increase the chances of more similar videos appearing on your own feed if you really like these type of videos. Don't miss a visit to Porfirio Cafe. Yeah, I'm tempted to go, but today, I was planning to go today, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be a good sunset. So Monica also says that waterproofing materials usually red. Thank you, Monica. Lo agradezco. What avenue is this, if anyone knows? Here. Mirna, yes, I'm aware. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is not as tall as the Empire. This is about half the Empire, a little bit less than half. But with the altitude combined, we are way higher than Empire State Building ever can get, or any skyscraper for that matter in New York City. Alicine says, best is traveling with Ariel than Aunt Etna, which I assume is a random aunt or a boyfriend who gets tired easily, or dumpy grandma. I'm glad I'm better than most family members or significant others that complain. What's the time and temperature? Put exclamation point weather and you'll see it. Janice, welcome. Nice to see you here, Janice. Hope you're doing well. So here we have a plane landing. Ariel, you're gonna invite us to dinner? Maybe. Maybe something surprising as well. Maybe. Stay tuned. Put on those notifications. plane has officially landed right there in the airport. The weather in Mexico City right now is a temperature of 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from north-northeast direction at 18 miles per hour. The humidity is at... That is a big red flag, yes. Over here we have El Zócalo, also known as Plaza de la Constitución, Constitutional Plaza. Is there a cafe on top? There is a cafe on top, yes. But it doesn't look that good, so I will not be partaking in any of its offerings. I mentioned before that there's good coffee almost everywhere, but I don't think this is one of the places, unfortunately. Is this where you had ice cream? Asked Judy. Yes, this is where I had ice cream. This is Zócalo. This is the second largest plaza in the entire world after the one in Moscow. Is Mexico City model after Madrid? Not per se. Madrid is a bit more. Mexico City follows a urban design plan that was implemented in almost all the colonies. The thing is, Mexico City, unlike, say, Lima or Buenos Aires or Montevideo and many other Spanish colonies, or El Viejo San Juan, they followed, here in Mexico City, they followed somewhat the original grid plan of Tenochtitlan. So where I'm pointing the camera right now used to be the little island in the middle of this lake, in the middle of the valley, called Tenochtitlan, which was the capital, the heart, the center of the Aztecs / Mexica. The Mexica settled down here in the middle of a lake. They had to build huge causeways. Huge causeways, these very long bridges to connect it to the mainland. I think the mainland is more over here as well. Actually, no, the mainland should be, I'm not sure which way should be the mainland. Let me know. Well, no, I love watching the weather ladies in Mexico. What? Lindo y Querido, dices Kenya. Do you finally try goat milk ice cream? No, I haven't found it yet. Montevideo would be great to visit. I can't wait. I would love to visit a bunch of other cities in South America, like Santiago, Chile, which is very European. Ariel, la mejor manera de terminar el día, ojalá puedas ver anochar para ver la gran magnitud de la ciudad. Más hermosa es lo difícil. So, Arc, gracias. Arc recommends staying here towards night because you can see really magnificent views. Do they have ferry service? Helen, great question. There is no lake here. Are you referring to back then? Back in the Aztec times? Yeah, Aztecs would have used boats, yes. They would have used rafts, boats. I think maybe like a canoe, but I'm not entirely sure what type of boat they will use, but they will use some type of sea vessel or lake vessel. Ferry, I'm not 100% sure, maybe, but they used the causeways, definitely. But they didn't have any beasts of burden, like horses, oxes, or donkeys or whatnot. So it was easier to transport things by water. So it was actually very convenient of a lake, because rather than having streets where you have to depend on a horse or an ox, which they did not have any of those, so they couldn't carry heavy stuff around easily. But if you do have a boat, it's a lot easier to take a huge piece of stone from one end of the city to the other. So it was. So think about that. That's one of the reasons why they probably settled down here. The other reason it being is actually good protection. It's hard to attack a little island in the middle of a huge lake. Are you going to the metro? not sure what to show. I'm not sure what would make a compelling vlog in the metro. Alright, we're back. So here's a Catedral Metropolitana. Catedral Metropolitana, that's where I was earlier today, eating a great tostada de atún. I am stuffed to the brim. I need a good hammock for a good siesta after that meal. Are you done to see museums or churches for the next 3 days? Matt, there's not that many other museums open, so no, not much museums for me. I'm going to show you the markets tomorrow, most likely. Stay tuned, probably around 2 or 3 p.m. I'll announce it if I have a more specific date. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to be joined most likely by Yubish and his friends, Fernanda maybe, as well. This is going to be a really fun time with some locals to explore one of the markets. And then tomorrow I'm going to the outside Luis Barragan house, one of the more famous architects. And maybe, I can show you inside. What mountains are there? I don't know the name of the mountains, Monica. Great question. So Popocatépetl, one of the volcanoes, is right there. Oh, right there. Look at that huge volcano. That explodes, the entire city is destroyed. So hope it doesn't explode right now. Hope Huitzilopochtli does not get angered and starts exploding. Everyone, send good vibes. Good vibes. Send some hearts to Huitzilopochtli. I know, he usually prefers real hearts, but we're gonna give him some virtual hearts. So give him some virtual hearts. Maybe he'll be satiated with a few heart emojis. Huitzilopochtli. Here, Tenochtitlan, you see Tenochtitlan right there? Tenochtitlan, pronouncing it in English, right there. See it? And you see those lines? Those are the causeways. Boom, 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 and boom, right over here would have been the other causeway, right over here. So the grid system does follow certainly some of the original causeways and canals, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. Here is Francisco y Madero Paseo and the tower all the way to Zócalo. That's where I walked a few days ago. Huitzilopochtli. Yeah, I don't know how writing is very tricky, but it starts with an H. But I'll show you how he looks like. It is Huitzilopochtli. Probably not the friendliest god, but thank you for sending him hearts. Hopefully he's satiated with some heart emojis and does not demand more real hearts from the fellow descendants of the Mexica. Mount Fuji erupted about 300 years ago. It was a disaster, says Chestnut Field. Oh my god. Popocatépetl is in Pueblo, Mexico. Yeah, but apparently Mexico City sinks up to 12 centimeters each year for being on landfill in the lake. B. Griffith says, would not want to meet Huitzilopochtli in the dark street. Yes, me neither. He said we must protect our real, yes. So let me show you how the causeways used to look like. So this is what we would have seen if we were back here in 1515. About 6 years before the Spanish conquered. ¿Puedes visitar Hawaii? Sí, yo entiendo a visitar Hawaii pronto también. I do intend on visiting Hawaii at some point, soon. Monica? All right, everyone. These are the views. We've done the full 360. Beautiful views over here. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Ariel, you should go to Palacio Postal building, says Chris. It's beautiful and only a block away. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Hopefully it doesn't rain too bad. I'll keep that in mind. And maybe go to Palacio Azueros, something like that. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Here is the views of Mexico City. La Ciudad de Mexico, CDMX. Used to be known as DF, Distrito Federal. Federal District. I hope you enjoyed these views. Thank you everyone so much for joining on this trip. Thank you to all the sponsors. All the sponsors are you, the viewers, the ones who super chatted, star send, PayPal, and are super urbanists on Patreon, YT, and FB. Thank you so much. You will be getting a brief 360 view of the 44th floor upstairs, so you can see how it looks like. And for all the super urbanists, we'll be getting access to those videos. You can become a super urbanist. But if you don't want to, that's okay. They will be available for free in about a month. So right there. PayPal is one time, and Patreon is recurring, and there you get the access to the 360 videos immediately. And thank you, mods, for keeping the good vibes as well. Everyone, to new cities. Hopefully, I will be exploring Honolulu, which is a city, the city of more than 1 million people in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Kind of blows my mind. Has similar skyscrapers to these. And then hopefully we'll be also visiting London and all the major cities of the UK. Manchester, Liverpool, all those major cities soon. So thank you everyone so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome. Always keep on exploring. Hasta luego, amigos. Adios, amigos.